we are discussing Unit 5, and today will be the last class of this unit. Just I want to show you the curriculum content. So Unit 1 we finished. Unit 2 also finished. Unit 5 today we finished. And from tomorrow we start Unit 3rd and Unit 4th. So in Unit 5 we discussed about curriculum textbook. It's a guide, use of supplementary materials, especially dictionary, grammar book, English newspaper, chants. So these are the prescribed supplementary materials in the curriculum. We discussed. Then there's specification and grid, designing good test items. Also, so we discussed error analysis and correcting students' errors, some technical skills, and soft skill. These two areas we discussed today. Okay. Just I have prepared here 2-3 questions to summarize 2 areas, like errors of the students, error analysis, or here important is what are the errors, then how do we respond to the students' errors. This is one thing we have to discuss, like errors committed by the learners play important role in the process of English language teaching and learning. Mention some of the possible errors that Nepalese learners of English commit. Also describe the basic techniques of dealing with those errors. So we discuss here. And next question, prepare. Discuss with examples the importance of learners' errors in learning English. Prepare a sample lesson plan to deal with those errors. Next question. And from soft skill part, this is what are the soft skills incorporated in lower secondary English curriculum. Design at least 4 classroom activities that are useful to develop those soft skills. So by discussing these 3 questions, we try to summarize errors and the soft skills. Now, let's start from the error analysis and error correction. So simply, from the classroom perspective, what we have to understand is what exactly the error. Then how do we respond, or how do we correct errors of the learners in English classroom? So these things we have to understand mainly. So here, just we can understand mistake is what first very broad concept. Mistake is broad concept and can be divided into 2 types of mistake. One is competence level mistake, another is performance level mistake. So competence level mistake is particularly known as error. Competence level means learners or students, they do not have knowledge or ability of to identify the language system of the target language. So this is related to the competence level. And another is performance level mistake, that is mistake we call. So when we engage in communication, or when we produce English language, at that time we can have some kind of slips, tongue slip, so due to might be some tiredness, fatigueness, this non-linguistic reason बाट पनि हामीले त्यो किसिमको चाहिँ मिस्टेकहरु आउन सक्छ at performance level. So here particularly we focus on the error. Errors means that mistake committed at competence level. You have to understand this one thing. Mistake committed at competence level is called error. So this we have to understand. So another point is trial and error. Like human human learning is fundamentally a process that involves learning by committing mistakes. So we commit mistakes, then we improve, then we learn. So this kind of trial and error process we human beings employ or use in course of learning. हामी गल्ती गर्छौँ सिक्छौँ गल्ती गर्छौँ सिक्छौँ गल्ती गर्छौँ सिक्छौँ हैन. And this kind of trial and error process we people adapt in course of learning. So these things we have to understand. And we human beings are not only the passive recipient of knowledge. So we actively think, we creatively think, critically think. We try to discover the patterns of language. We try to explore the new words and their formations also. So our mind actively works to think and what to use the new target language structures or patterns. So because of this also, what we can say is we human beings or we human learners are creative and critical active meaning makers. When we think creatively, when we think actively in the process of language learning, we can make mistake. We can make mistake. So our human mind also employs different mental operations. Mental operations. Thinking will be there, and then innovating will be there, planning will be there. To think, to plan, to discover, to innovate. Some new system of language, new patterns of language. We what produce some kind of errors, and that is competence level. Use language system ko barema najanera ni produce hune chai error ho ke. So performance level mistake bhaneko tapako janeko cha haina. For example, we know the language structure of English. We can tell every structure of every sentence structure of English. Subject plus verb plus subject plus ijmr plus verb plus object. In this we can say, but when we speak, we produce this kind of like he say isto bhandeni, they plays isto bhandeni. When we speak, this kind of errors or mistake occurs. So this is what at performance level यो विशेष गरेर कस्तो हुन्छ भने अलिकति नन लिंग्विस्टिक को रिजनबाट के अलिकति थाकेको अवस्थामा टायर्ड भछ एन्ड स्ट्रेसमा छ, टेन्सनमा छ, फटिग यस्तो अवस्थामा के हुन्छ भने फ्याट आइदिन सक्छ के त्यस्तो मिस्टेकहरु. द्याट इज एट परफर्मेन्स लेभल एन्ड दे प्ले भनिदिन सक्छ So we know the structure. They play हुनुपर्ने, they plays भनिदिन्छ हामी अनि गएर he says भन्टमा he say भनिदिन्छ. यो कहिले कहिले चाहिँ यस्तो चाहिँ परफर्मेन्स लेभलमा आउँछ. This is not due to the competence level, but it is due to the non-linguistic reason at performance level. So दुईटा कुरा बुझौँ. एउटा error that is at competence level, language system थाहा नभएर हुने स्ट्रक्चरै थाहा छैन. स्ट्रक्चर थाहा नहुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब जस्तै हामीले के गर्न सक्छौँ भने फर एक्जाम्पल इज सिंगुलर भन्छौँ अनि हामीले यस अथवा यस हटाउँदाखेरि सिंगुलर हुन्छ भन्ने टाइप हो के. यस्तो हिसे भनिदिन्छौँ कि हिसे अनि दे भनेको प्लुरल हो अनि यस अथवा यस थपिदिँदाखेरि प्लुरल हुन्छ भन्ने टाइपको अन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङ के दिस इज भन्दिने. सो दिस इज वाट दिस इज एट द कम्पिटेन्स लेभलमा हो यो ल्याङ्ग्वेज स्ट्रक्चरै उसलाई थाहा छैन भने दिस काइन्ड अफ एरर्स एट कम्पिटेन्स लेभल वी सी हि से भन्दिने, दिस इज भन्दिने. दिस इज वाट हुनुपर्ने के त्यसै हुनुपर्ने, हि सेज हुनुपर्ने, बिकज सिंगुलर सब्जेक्ट सिंगुलर भर्ब एन्ड प्लुरल सब्जेक्ट प्लुरल भर्ब. सो दिस काइन्ड अफ knowledge of language system rules, if students or learners lack, they produced errors that is at competence level. यो competence level को चाहिँ error भन्छ, performance level को चाहिँ mistake भन्छ. So overall the term mistake is what? Cover term. Mistake is cover term. In this way, we understand and understand that human learning is fundamentally a process that involves learning by committing errors, learning by doing, learning by making errors. So they make errors, then they improve, make errors, they improve. This is the process, because the learners they generalize, they creatively think, they actively use their mental operations to discover to explore the new patterns in the process of English language learning. Just यसमा मजाले भनिदिन सक्छ, like उसले भबमा चाहिँ PLAY प्ले भबमा इडी थपिदिँदाखेरि पास्ट हुन्छ भन्ने सिकिरा हुन्छ भबमा इडी थपिदिँदा पास्ट फर्म हुन्छ यो भन्ने सिकेरा हुन्छ प्लेड भन्यो अनि गएर ED डान्स भन्यो इडी थप्दा पास्ट हुँदो रहेछ भनेर बुझेपछि उसले के भनिन्छ तपाईको GOED पनि भनिदिन्छ अब यहाँ हेर्नुस् GOED अब हुनुपर्ने दिस इज इरेगुलर भर्ब शुड बी व्हाट वेन्ट बट स्टुडेन्ट्स दे जेनरलाइज अब यो जेनरलाइजेसन भनेको उसको के हो भने फेरि यो उसको उसले एक्टिभली क्रिएटिभली उसले सोच्यो हो when we use ED at the end of each verb that will be past भनेर बुझ्छ अनि गोमा पनि ED थपिदिन्छ GOED गोड भनिदिन्छ this kind of error, this is error चाहिँ देख्न सकिन्छ learners को language मा. So why this is happening? Because they critically, creatively and actively think about the language of the target language structure of the target language. Sometimes what happens is when they generalize the rules, then there will be errors. This we have to understand. So miscalculation is error. When the students they calculate गर्ने नै हो सिक्दाखेरि अघि भने जस्तै गोला इडी थप्दाखेरि पास्ट हुन्छ भन्ने अनि गएर अब सिंगुलर सब्जेक्ट जस्तै हि भन्यो सिंगुलर हो अनि गएर यस अथवा यस हटाइदिँदाखेरि सिंगुलर हुन्छ भने जस्तो हि से भन्दिने. This is what a kind of imagination, a kind of calculation students they make in course of learning, then say what, then produce he say, he good, this kind of expressions students may produce in course of learning English. This is due to the what? Miscalculation, misjudgment. This is what error. Just we understand that error is what miscalculation. Then interpretation and wrong judgment. Like let's say, so judgments, guesses, calculations wrong with as a result appear as errors. Errors आउने कारणै के हो भने उसको judgment, उसको guess, उसको calculation right भएन भने नै error आउने हो So because just so you understand, our students sometimes they judge, they guess, they calculate the English structures or words of word formation. As a result, what happens? We see the errors. One thing. So examples I have mentioned here. Students saying or writing COED instead of went, CANS instead of can, does plays instead of does play. Are some few examples to mention here as the errors in English language learning process. Okay, so we can mention this. And definition, there are different views we can see about errors. Like error is the competence level mistake. One thing we have to understand, competence level को उसको knowledge नभएर आउने हो के error भनेको त performance level को mistake चाहिँ उसलाई knowledge छ हुँदा हुँदै पनि due to non-linguistic reasons may come they may produce. This is what mistake at competence level, performance level. Competence level को error हो. So error is the competence level mistake. It is the failure to utilize you think it is a failure to utilize a non-system correctly. यो सिस्टमलाई राम्रोसँग युटिलाइज गर्ने जानेन के utilize the system, the non भन्दा पनि system भन्दैम न target language, it is the failure to utilize target language system correctly. So competence level mistake and failure to utilize the target language system correctly, appropriately, correctly and appropriately. उसले राम्रोसँग use गर्न सकेन appropriately, and it is due to the failure to recognize linguistic system of the target language, a kind of this is like in second point, a linguistic system of the target language. जान्नु पर्छ due to lack of target language linguistic system, we produce error. Error can be defined as in different ways. Some of the major views on errors are given below, like written here. So noticeable deviation from the adult grammar of native speakers, reflecting the inter-language system of the learners. This is what एउटा definition तपाईले सम्झिदै पुग्छ हैन. From the examination point of view, noticeable deviation means just we clearly we see that is visible to others, that kind of deviation, that kind of what do we say, screen कोर्ने चाहिँ तपाईले नछोड्ने हुनुभयो. Yes, competence level error, performance level is what this is mistake. म साथीहरुलाई कति भन्ने स्क्रिन नकोर्नु हुन्छ है. So एउटा डेफिनेसन सम्झिदिनुस्, यिनीहरुबाट कुनै सम्झिदै हुन्छ. एरर भनेको के हो भने this is the miscalculation of the learners in course of learning a new language system हैन, new language system भन्दिम हैन. This is error. Faulty judgments of the learners is error. Ill-formed or erroneous expression is called error. Incorrect utterances produced by the learner, incorrect utterances produced by the learners, this is errors. Then developmental signs in learning new language system, new language system, SYS, EM system, we can say this also. Indicators of learning difficulties. सिकाइमा गाह्रो भयो भन्ने एउटा सूचक पनि हो, indicator पनि हो errors भनेको. Evidences of competence in the competence of the learners in the target language, in the target language. This there are different ways of viewing at errors. Error भनेको के हो भन्दाखेरि simply we said this is competence level mistake is error. So this happens due to the failure to utilize the target language system correctly and appropriately, to recognize and utilize भन्दिम है त एउटै सेन्टेन्समा. Failure to recognize and utilize the target language system correctly and appropriately, errors appear. यसलाई फाल्दियौ. So errors can be defined like noticeable deviation. हामीले स्पष्ट देखिन्छ के that kind of deviation, deviated form of language, from the adult grammar of native speakers. Native speakers, they use their language perfectly, So in comparison to that native speakers, native adult grammar of native speakers, so learners they produce some forms which is deviated, which is not acceptable, which is not according to the norms, patterns, system of the target language. That is error. So that errors reflect the interlanguage system of the learners. Interlanguage system भनेको, so you have to understand, we are, for example, we are learners of English, we are learners of English, then we are developing a kind of framework, a kind of skeleton, a kind of picture or kind of image of the target language. So that is different from the actual English language, as well as that is different from the learner's first language. Learner's first language र target language को बीचको language लाई चाहिँ inter-language system भन्छ के. That is exactly not of that target language, not of students' first language or mother tongue. So this middle बीचको language system लाई चाहिँ inter-language system भन्छ. बच्चा कहाँ पुगेको छ भाषा सिक्ने क्रममा भनेर चाहिँ देखाउँछ चाहिँ यो inter-language system चाहिँ हैन. So here when errors appear in course of using target language, errors reflect the internal picture of the target language. Okay? Internal picture कहाँ पुगेको छ त सिकारु भाषा सिक्ने क्रममा भन्ने कुराहरु चाहिँ errors reflect. So just we can remember errors are noticeable deviation noticeable distraction, deviation, distortion, हामीले के भन्ने यसलाई चाहिँ deviation भनौं, distortion भनौं अनि गएर distraction distraction भनौं, के भनौं यसलाई not distortion, यसलाई distortion भनौं ल. Okay, so noticeable distortion banging, okay, deviation not according to the rules, so noticeable deviation clearly visible, that is different from the adult grammar of the native speaker and reflects the interlanguage system of the learners. This is error. One thing, miscalculation, you understand. This is faulty judgments of the learners, you understand. Ill-formed or erroneous expression, incorrect utterances produced by the learners, developmental signs of very. But making judgments, making hypotheses, making using critical mind, using different mental operations in course of exploring, discovering the patterns of the target language. At that time, what happens? Errors will be seen. That is what developmental signs in the process of learning new language system. Developmental sign indicators of learning difficulties, evidences of the competence level of the target language. This just you can understand as errors. So learners' errors are significant to the teacher, the researchers, even learners. You important errors because some of the things are mentioned like how language is learned and what strategies learners are using in course of learning language, that will be visible. देख्न सकिन्छ के बच्चाले कस्तो तरिका कस्तो रणनीति युज गरिरहेको छ भाषा सिक्दाखेरि भनेर, this kind of evidence will be seen and will be useful to the researcher, to the teacher, even to the learners. So strategies and processes or procedures learners are employing, everything we can see from the error. So from this point we can say errors are important for the teaching and learning purpose. A question errors committed, question is important. Errors committed by the learners play important role in the process of English language teaching and learning. Mention some of possible errors that Nepalese learners of English commit or produce. Also describe the basic techniques of dealing with those errors. Our techniques of dealing errors ma herna paryo. Errors आइहाल्यो, for example, he cans भन्छ, he cans play भन्छ, so यस्तो errors लाई कसरी deal गर्ने त? How can we respond this kind of errors produced or committed by the Nepalese learners of English in English language class? This kind of we have to see. This is just introduction part. This is necessary. We write like human learning is fundamentally a process that involves trial and error. You understand? हामी गर्दै सिक्दै गल्तीबाट सिक्दै अगाडि बढ्ने हो हैन. Human learning fundamentally adopts this kind of process, employs this kind of process of learning through trial and error. We understand this. And learners continuously make judgments and guesses in course of new language, in course of learning new language system, new language system. They make guess, they make judgments, they make calculation, they also discover the patterns of new language. When there is miscalculation or when there is misjudgment, errors can occur. Errors when there is miscalculation. Golai edi thapdine bitik good bhandio, there is miscalculation, misjudgment, wrong judgment. Then can plus modal auxiliary verb can, could, shall, should, may, might plus bhavan huncha bhanne thaha nabhera can says bhandio. He can says bhandio, and this is what a kind of wrong judgment. As a result, they produce errors. So when there is miscalculation or misjudgment, errors can appear. Errors is noticeable deviation from the adult grammar of native speakers, reflecting the interlanguage system of the learners. Bhasha sikne krama kaha pugeko cha, kuni stage ma pugeko cha, that will be reflected. That will be visible to the researcher, the teacher. And this is what interlanguage system of the learners. So, errors can also be known as miscalculation. This is in answer form. Errors can also be known as miscalculation of learners in course of learning new language system. So faulty judgments of learners, ill-formed expressions. Ill-formed expressions, incorrect advances, developmental signs in new language, learning new language, indicators of learning difficulties, evidences of competence in target language. This is in answer form. Error ko barema thori lekhnu parihalyo aba yo error bata what kind of benefits or help teacher and researchers they receive in course of dealing with English language, teaching and learning in English class. Some points are mentioned here, like errors play important role in the process of teaching and learning. We understand this. Teachers can get many ideas from students' errors. New ideas teacher can get from the errors produced by the learners or students. More specific, the following points can be summarized as the importance of students' errors in English language class. So, errors help to identify strategies, techniques students are using in course of learning. Kosto technique use गरिरहेको छ त बच्चाहरुले भाषा सिक्दाखेरि like overgeneralization भन्छ and then there are different ways of learning language, target language system. So that strategies, that techniques, the process, teacher understands. Oh, my students, applying this overgeneralization, strategy to learn the target language system. मैले चाहिँ past form मा चाहिँ ed पढाको बच्चाले irregular verb मा पनि ed राखिदियो, उले overgeneralize गरिदियो के हैन भन्ने कुराहरु चाहिँ टिचरलाई चाहिँ knowledge हुन्छ. So errors help teachers to identify what kind of strategy students are employing using in course of learning. One thing. And errors help us to identify the possible causes of students' difficulties. So what are the potential difficulty areas? Then what are the actual difficulties learners face in course of learning target language system? भन्ने कुराहरु so errors ले चाहिँ बताइदिन्छ टिचरलाई. Then accordingly remedial teaching, focused teaching, and as well as variety of lesson activities teacher can prepare by the help of the errors produced by the learners. So this is very useful for the teachers also. Errors help teachers to familiarize them with the different mental operations made by the learners or students. Students, they use their mental process. They think, they use their mind creatively, critically, innovatively, actively, so then then teachers, they become, familiar that, oh, my students are using, their mental, operations, or their, mind in course of learning new language system भनेर teacher बुझ्छ. Errors inform or tell to the teachers and researchers how far the learners are progressing towards the goal of learning. Then what is remaining still in learning, कहाँ पुग्यो सिकाइमा, कहाँ पुग्यो, कति प्रोग्रेस गर्यो, errors will reflect that. Errors ले बताइदिन्छ. Then what is still remaining, अझै बच्चाले के सिक्न बाँकी रहेछ त, के जानेको रहेन छ त भन्ने कुराहरु पनि रिफ्लेक्ट गर्छ. So errors help teachers and researchers to identify, to recognize, to check the learners, progress in learning target language, as well as what is still remaining to learn from the side of learners. This will be what helpful to them. Accordingly, you can plan, design activities in everyday lesson. So this kind of, benefits, advantages, teachers, they get from the errors produced by the learners. In this way, we can also understand. Now, some of the examples of errors, like, errors committed by the learners play important role in the process of English language teaching and learning. अब थोरै एररको बारेमा कुरा गर्यो, then importance को बारेमा कुरा गर्यो. अब examples, mention some of the possible errors or examples of error भन्दिन सक्छ हैन. Mention some of the possible examples of examples of errors that Nepalese learners of English commit. अब यसमा बताऊ some of the possible some possible errors हैन. Nepalese learners of English can commit mistakes or mistake भन्दा नि errors चाहिँ भन्दियो हैन. Errors the failure to recognize, RECOGNI, to recognize and utilize the linguistic system of the English language, linguistic system of the English language. Nepalese learners of English can commit errors due to the failure to recognize and utilize the linguistic system of English language. Some of the potential errors that can be produced, that can be committed, committed by the Nepalese learners of English are given below. Are given below. Example by the learners given below. Okay, he got bandhiyo. So just you can underline to the errors, underline he got. Then she cannot go, she cannot go, she cannot go. This kind of expression, students they predict in yes no question also does आइसकेपछि त यतापट्टि do does did आइसकेपछि त भवन हुनु पर्यो नि हैन. They say what he does plays, this kind of expressions they can produce, and they plays, so that means plural many, and when we add yes or yes, that will be plural भन्ने concept चाहिँ students हुन सक्छ के. yes अथवा yes थप्दिँदाखेरि plural भइदिन्छ भन्ने हिसाबले they plays ball भनिदिन सक्छ बच्चाहरूले, किनकि this is miscalculation भयो हैन. So बुझ्न पर्ने के हो भने नाउनमा yes अथवा yes थप्दिँदाखेरि प्लुरल हुन्छ, भर्बमा yes अथवा yes थप्दिँदाखेरि सिंगुलर हुन्छ क्या, त्यो उल्टो हुन्छ यसमा. हैन फर एक्जाम्पल BOY boy मा यस शब्द त boys भयो प्लुरल भयो हैन अनि गएर जस्तै तपाईको SCHOL स्कुलमा यस शब्द त प्लुरल भयो हैन बट भबमा जस्तैमा यस शब्द दिँदाखेरि प्लुरल हुँदैन यस शब्द त प्लुरल हुँदैन क्या so students they just understand if we add yes or yes we will be plural भन्ने बुझाइ हुन सक्छ then accordingly there is what plural when we add yes in the play that also will be plural subject plural verb यसरी बुझ्न सक्छ then they can produce they plays यस्तो भन्दिन सक्छ बच्चाहरुले so this is what miscalculation and errors will come there so we are live in the village हैन this kind of r पछि so EMR पछि भफो हुन्छ भन्ने बच्चालाई नलेज नहुँदाखेरि पनि they produce this kind of what errors they are living or we are living भन्ने ठाउँमा we are live in the village this kind of expression they can produce so he come from India हैन he भन्ने बित्तिकै कि त came हुनु पर्यो हैन कि त comes हुनु पर्यो he comes or he came so this kind of errors we can see these errors are especially due to the failure to recognize and to utilize the exact linguistic system of the target language ठक्कै थाहा भएन के बच्चाहरुलाई रुलै थाहा भएन अनि in course of using English language they can produce this kind of mistakes these mistakes at competence level knowledge and aware then what happens this is error technically called error यसरी हेरौं हैन some examples it is necessary to recognize the type of errors and apply appropriate techniques to deal with them अब यो error थाहा भइसकेपछि then we have to use different techniques to deal with to respond or to address these errors in English language classroom there are many different techniques that can be used while dealing with errors in English language class in English language class or in English language class or in English language learning some of the major ones are given below like here like 11-12 techniques are given here यदि भएपछि तपाईलाई काम पुग्छ हैन from the examination perspective reformulation requesting for clarification हैन echoing or erroneous expression and supply negative feedback supply the correct form immediately supply positive feedback inviting peer correction self correction peer correction we can self correction मा पनि जोड दिन सकिन्छ self correction and peer correction whole class discussion we can do and we can explain teacher can explain the rules and make aware to the students so this is wrong because you have utilized this kind of pattern structures भन्न सकिन्छ explanation we can do and using some kind of codes also for written error मा हुँदाखेरि के कोड हो सिम्बलहरु युज गर्दिएर we can check now these techniques I brought from some books तपाईले हेर्न मन लाग्यो भने यो किताब हेर्न सक्नुहुन्छ यसको लागि for example error correction techniques two books I will show you यहाँबाट पनि you can get support how to teach it's a very useful book you can use in grammar teaching also a minute yeah this is one very useful book how to teach grammar by Scott Thornberry 1999 I think यो किताब चाहिँ एकदम राम्रो छ ग्रामर टिचिङ को हैन र यसमा चाहिँ how to integrate grammar हो यहाँनिर चाहिँ यो how to deal with grammar errors भन्ने छ हैन यो attitude towards error and error correction responding to errors भन्ने छ हो यहाँनिर गएर हामीले 113 मा गएर हेर्यौं भने यो सबै लेसन प्लानहरु ग्रामर टिचिङको लेसन प्लानहरु यहाँ दिएको छ एक्टिभिटीहरु हैन you can read and I have borrowed many ideas from here. Not only grammar, this is in overall in English language learning. We can use these techniques of error correction. Attitudes and error, attitudes to error and error correction. Responding to errors, yes. So this is what responding to errors. We can get ideas from here. What opinions has the teacher got when faced with students' errors? Let's imagine that in the course of classroom activity, a student has been describing a person's appearance and answer. He has a long hair, Here are some possible responses that the teacher might consider. How do we respond to the teacher's errors, learners' errors? Like see they no open no, that's wrong. This is one technique of responding, and I think means giving negative feedback. Okay, no one negative feedback. He has a long hair. He has a long hair. All long hair. He has long hair. This is a correction. This a correction in the strictest sense of the word. It simply repeats the student's utterance, perhaps in the interest of maintaining the flow of talk, but at the same time reminding the learner not to focus only on meaning at the expense of form. Meaning la jod dinदाखेरि form बिग्रियो हैन त्यही भएर he has long hair भने उले के reformulate गरिदिन्छ क्या टिचरले यो चाहिँ reformulate गरिदिने हो. So has not indicated the error. You used while talking about here, so this is not appropriate. He has long hair. Reformulate गरिदियो क्या अनि एउटा भन्छ no, directly giving negative feedback हैन अर्को भनेको he has long hair. So this is what reformulating उले reformulate गरिदिन्छ हैन अनि उ चाहिँ no article त्यो article युज हुँदैन भनेर एउटा भनौं न पोजिटिभ फिडब्याक दिने यस्तो हुन्छ हैन अथवा पियर करेक्सन सेल्फ करेक्सन तिर लाने पनि हुन्छ हैन. सो नो एनीवन भनेको अरु कसैलाई पियर करेक्सन तिर लान्छ हैन. Yes, he said he has a long hair. This is right. Anyone please you check it भनेर अरुलाई पियर करेक्सनमा दिने हैन. This is also one technique हैन. अनि he has जहाँनिर प्रब्लम छ जहाँनिर एरर छ त्यहाँनिर स्टप हुने. he has भन्ने ठाउँमा नभनेर he has भनेपछि अनि क्वेशन सोध्यो क्वेशन टोनमा चाहिँ सोधेपछि then students will be will realize oh something is mistake there and he has this kind of question type of intonation or voice or we use, then students they realize oh something is mistake there. Will reflect this kind of technique we can use. There are many there is 8-9 वटा technique good भन्यो appreciate गर्यो like strange as this seems, it is in fact very common way that teachers provide feedback on student products, especially in activities where the focus is more on meaning than on form. For example, it is not difficult to imagine a sequence like this. Teacher said, what does Mike Zucker look like? He has a long hair. He has a long hair. Or no, teacher good. Anything else? Explore. He has a big lips. Good. Because so here the focus is on meaning rather than form. What is the focus point that we stress? Focus meaning or form ho determine. So if you are focusing on meaning, so you go on promoting, you go on encouraging them, they go on producing, and later they realize they are the developmental signs that they are learning new language. So directly don't correct, don't stop them to in producing new sentences or expressions. Don't stop, jana dinus tara in a positive way. You encourage, because meaning is prioritized, meaning is focused. And these different ideas you get from here. So from these ideas I have prepared this answer. So here reformulation. This names I made like reformulation, requesting for clarification. I could not understand. Could you tell me again? When I say fair confusion, and we'll revise, or we'll check, we'll review the sentence or the word or the phrase produced by the learners, requesting for the clarification, equaling the erroneous expression with quizzical intonation. Question type को intonation use गरेर जस्तै he has भनेर हामीले त्यहाँ हेरेको थियौं अघि. This kind of intonation we can use and help learners to think and review about the expressions produced. Supply negative feedback, see the no भन्दिने हैन. Supply the correct form immediately हैन. He has long hair directly. Then supply positive feedback also, inviting self-correction and peer correction we can do, and whole class discussion we can make. A piece of writing we select and we demonstrate in the class, and we discuss. The name of that student will be hidden. Just piece of writing that contains many errors, then we just demonstrate in the class. The students, they observe and they find out some errors in the writing, and we discuss. So this kind of whole class discussion also we can do, and explanation that can explain the rules and errors, why that errors is there. Using quotes for written errors. Isto पनि हामीले use गर्न सकिन्छ. Here few examples are given. Describing math describe describe question. Mention some of the possible examples of errors that Nepalese learners of English commit. Also describe basic techniques. Also describe the basic techniques of dealing with those errors. Now here exam you see the description. So if you have time management problem, so do not list these techniques and directly you go to the description, like describing the error correction techniques. Describing the possible error correction techniques are described briefly. Briefly described below. BED described below. Reformulation, it is one simple technique of dealing with learners error in language teaching and in language teaching and learning. Reformulation means offering an expanded version of learner's utterance where correct form of erroneous expression will be supplied. Right from the number. My mommy bought books for me. We go to market yesterday. My mommy bought books for me. This is what mistake. Here the teacher says, "Oh, that's nice. Your mommy bought it for you." This is what reformulation. Teacher reformulate reformulate. But teacher has not said that, "Oh, you made mistake. You made error here." This is not acceptable. This kind of explanation is not here. Just teacher has reformulated. Like, oh, that's nice. Your mommy bought it for you. This is what reformulation. And requesting for clarification means students can be asked for clarification by saying, sorry, I couldn't understand. Could you repeat it again? Then students, they think, they review the expression. Equating the erroneous expression with quizzical intonation. This is one of the common technique, one of the common techniques that can be used to correct the learner's errors. Here, the erroneous expressions with quizzical intonation will be asked. This makes the learners think over the expression. Oh, he has. Apply negative feedback is directly saying no, and then supply correct form immediately. So correct form we provide. Then positive feedback, yes, go on, okay, I'm fine, good, well, you are doing, yes, go on. Just for example, like teacher says, what did you do yesterday? I go to market yesterday. Go bandhiyo, I go bandhiyo. So should be here I went to market yesterday. So said I go to market yesterday. This is fine, we understand. Oh, yesterday he went to market. From the meaning perspective, it's fine, but from the structure perspective, this is wrong. Error is here. So, teacher says it's okay. Reformulation type of just say, okay, well, you went to market yesterday. Yes. Inviting correction. Anyone is there to check about the sentence expression? We ask to the peers. The teacher points the errors made by the learners and says, anyone can correct the errors. So asking to the peers. So word class discussion is, I already said that, just we can pick up or we can select particular piece of writing which contains many errors. Then we can hide the name of the student and demonstrate the piece of writing. Then students they observe and they identify errors, and then what they can discuss in the whole class. What is wrong, what is right. Explanation you understand, and using quotes to correct written work. When we check students written piece of written work, then of course there might be spelling mistake, subject verb agreement mistake, or the tense problem, or preposition, article, some kind of problems might be there. Then just we provide the code things. Okay, so yes, spelling problem this is code. Then GR grammar problem this kind of code we provide. Then students have to understand, oh, there is a spelling problem, there is grammar problem, there is article problem, there is preposition problem. Then they realize. So this kind of code we can provide to the students while checking their written piece of work. So in this way, from the examination point of view, technique so this we can use while correcting students' errors in the course of English language learning. Finally, conclusion part is here. Finally, what teacher should understand, errors are the natural part of learning process. Naturally, I also, we are the learners. Then these errors are the, this is one, one part of, language learning. The students should get ample opportunities to engage and correct themselves first. The principle behind error correction is self-correction is the best. And it will be sustainable learning. Is best because learning is important than teaching. Realize this kind of conclusion we can make. And next question is, discuss with examples the importance of errors in learning English. Prepare a sample lesson plan to deal with errors. It's the lesson plan. How do you deal with errors? Question. So here in the introduction part, few sentences you can write about the introduction of errors. एरर के हो कसैलाई एरर भनिन्छ भने यहाँबाट लानुहोस् थोरै हैन यही कमन राखिदिनुहोस् एरर भन्ने बित्तिकै त्यही एउटा कमन introduction part नै सम्झनुहोस् त्यही लानुहोस् हैन then importance we have mentioned here यो माथि पनि दिएको छ importance भन्ने बित्तिकै त्यही कुरा ल्याउने हो now lesson activities मैले यो तपाईलाई यो टपिक भनौं न जस्तै सप्लिमेन्टरी मटेरियल भन्यो सकेपछि मैले नोट पठाइदिसकेको छु अनि तपाईको चाहिँ यो आज पढाएको छु एरर एनालिसिस करेक्सन टेक्निक्स अफ करेक्सन एरर्स आज सकिन्छ म आजै पढाइदिन्छु त्यसै पढाएको छु हैन प्लिज यु कन्ट्याक्ट टु द एडमिनिस्ट्रेसन एन्ड फर दिस टेक्निकको लागि चाहिँ फेरि अघिकै किताब हेरौं लेसन प्लानको लागि लेसन प्लान सो यु चेक this one for the lesson plan यसबाट आइडिया लिनु पर्यो लेसन प्लानको लागि हैन सो lesson activities are given here lesson sample lesson भने हैन so using learners errors to review cohesive devices हैन this कुनै एउटा एक्जाम्पल लिन सक्नुहुन्छ हैन लाइक यहाँ चाहिँ के छ भने डिस्कोर्स मार्कर्स को चाहिँ युज को छ जस्तै कनेक्टिभ्स को हैन एन्ड बट हाउएभर डिस्पाइट यिनीहरुको राम्रो प्रयोग भएन भन्ने कुरा छ यसमा हैन लेसन प्लान बनाउँदा कुनै एउटा लिन सक्नुहुन्छ तपाईले हैन सो लाइक फर्स्ट स्टेप टीचर hands out a worksheet which consists of a number of sentences she has collected from the previous written work हैन just we can make some sentences having errors having errors then we can provide to the students in group or pair pair ma अथवा ग्रुपमा दिन सकिन्छ the teacher monitors the work फेरि peer work मा दिइसकेपछि peer work टिचरले हेर्छ helping learners find out some of the problems for example wrong choice of tense or vocabulary or something else So you can support from this book also. Step 1 for I do this, step 2 I do this, step 3 I do this हैन पहिला यसो गर्छु त्यसपछि यसो गर्छु त्यसपछि यसो गर्छु भन्दै जान सकिन्छ हैन यहाँ एक्जाम्पल दिएको छ यो सर एकचोटि हेरौं यो हेर्दाखेरि पनि आइडिया आएन भने म यसको आन्सर बनाइदिन्छु है त I will send this book and this note I will send you once read it because ideas you have got there are some techniques that we can use while responding or correcting students errors you try to write in the lesson format in the lesson plan format if you feel difficult then we do this in our next class right यो मतलब पनि म पठाइदिन्छु and we go to next and that is soft skill तिर जाउँ हैन this is what Scott Thornbury बाट मैले यो किताब पठाइदिन्छु and you check once and you try to do from your side then we do this okay and soft skill incorporated in English curriculum here question simply one question let's see then we can discuss about it what are the soft skills incorporated in lower secondary English curriculum design at least 4 activities that are useful to develop those soft skills भने हैन अब सबभन्दा पहिला soft skill बुझ्नु पर्यो what is soft skill then we talk about the activities हैन what is soft skill this we have to understand soft skill here I have mentioned some points then you have also some ideas and you make your answer. Just you understand soft skill means this is core intel पनि भन्छ के like core intel भनेको core this is core intel बुझ्नु के भित्रको जुन internal strength internal strength. Core intel means this is what internal strength SIENGS internal strength आन्तरिक भित्र भएको strong point this is soft skill भने like for example उदाहरण दियो भने तपाईले बुझ्नुहुन्छ like leadership is what one internal strength of the learner and internal strength and critical thinking problem solving skill, critical thinking skill, and group work ma काम गर्ने skill हुन्छ teamwork ma काम गर्ने सिक हुन्छ there are many soft skills this time focused in curriculum focus गरेको छ अहिले चाहिँ from primary level to secondary level grade 11 and 12 soft skills are highly prioritized these soft skills are the core skills, life skills, 21st century skills also we can say, and that is skills or abilities related to how you work and how you interact with other people. So especially the skills which we learn inside the classroom, then the skills which we need outside the classroom. Yeah, it's a visible gap देखियो क्या classroom मा सिक्ने कुरा र classroom भन्दा बाहिर हामीलाई आवश्यक पर्ने स्किल को बीचमा खाडल देखियो भनेको हाम्रो टिचिङ के भयो भने टिचिङ इज knowledge based rather than skill based भन्दा knowledge based भयो हाम्रो टिचिङ हैन so our teaching focuses on what knowledge based भयो के थिंकिङ हो knowledge based भयो हुनु पर्ने के हो knowledge based should be what our teaching should focus on skill based हुनु पर्ने हो तर हाम्रो के knowledge based भएको भोकाउने के पाठ पढाउने टेक्स्ट बुक डिक्टेट गर्ने every details everything we teach from the textbook and we don't care about the teacher's guide, we don't care about the curriculum, we don't care about the supplementary materials, what are the missing part of textbook, what are the lacking part of textbook, what are the supplementary materials we have to use to develop different life skills of the students, different to enhance their internal strength, internal capacity of the students. यस्तो सोचिदैन हैन generally we focus on the knowledge ज्ञान भयो हुन्छ भन्ने भयो skill चाहिँ हामीले जोड दिएन. So this time skill part and the practical part then technical and vocational part are highly emphasized this time focus गरेको छ. त्यही भएर soft skill is very important this time. And here, for the examination point of view, just you understand that soft skills are what the abilities that students they use in course of learning language, in course of interacting with the people to make his or her teaching and learning effective as well as what successful life. यो भनेको के हो भने पर्सनल एट्रिब्युट्स हो के सफ्ट स्किल भनेको पर्सनल एट्रिब्युट्स हो यो प्रत्येक व्यक्तिमा हुनुपर्ने एट्रिब्युट्स हो. दिस इज व्हाट पर्सनल एट्रिब्युट्स गुण हो. दिस इज क्वालिटी पर्सनल एट्रिब्युट्स क्वालिटी हैन क्वालिटीज हो हैन so योग्यता हो के यो क्वालिफिकेसन क्वालिटीज एट्रिब्युट्स हाउ वी अंडरस्ट्यान्ड इट हैन हामीसँग लिडरशिप छैन क्रिटिकल थिंकिङ प्रब्लम सल्भिङ ग्रुप वर्क टीम वर्क हैन एन्ड देन कोलाबोरेसन कम्युनिकेसन स्किल हैन and then negotiation skill management skill, time management skill, then negotiation skill. These are what these skills or the abilities demanded by the outside world. We have to negotiate, we have to solve the problem, we have to work in group, we have to work in team, we have to think creatively and critically, and then we have to show our leadership. We have to do these, we have to perform or we have to execute these abilities in our real life situation. And these qualities, these skills, these abilities, attributes we have to demonstrate in our real life situation. This is what curriculum, present lower secondary English curriculum focuses on by the use of different activities. Activity use गरेर यो स्किलहरु डेभलप गर्न खोजेको छ. What are the soft skills incorporated or mentioned in lower secondary English curriculum? Because these skills are not specified in the curriculum, because we checked it as a curriculum. Just I will show you. 1 minute, okay. Curriculum. No, secondary. I'm sorry, this is not TSC. Yes, this is school level lower secondary English curriculum, and in this curriculum, soft skills are not clearly presented. They are present. They are hidden. They are they will be achieved as byproduct okay? When we use different communicative activities, different jigsaw activities and cooperative language learning activities, then what happens? Then the ability of leadership, negotiation, group work, teamwork, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, problem solving, time management, self-management. So these skills will be developed as byproduct. Byproduct focus is to the language skills and language aspects. When we focus language skills and aspects, then as a result, what happens? These soft skills will also be developed. Okay. So when we check this curriculum, soft skills are not clearly presented. These soft skills basic level 1-3 is specified. When we check this, the functions are given. Then these are the functions. Now this is what functions in elaboration. Just grammar, reading and writing. Then here soft skills. Then here working hours. Here soft skill, but we soft skill is focused. Sorry, activities, techniques and activities are here. Then evaluation process is here. Then what is specification grade is here. Document this is our basic level curriculum here. Now you see this. This is basic level grades 1-3 curriculum. Indicated like we see only English. We check English. Yes. This is English of grade 1 to 3. Learning outcomes are here, competencies are here, learning outcomes are here, and reading, writing, reading and writing. Here. This is the scope and sequence of content. Theme is given here in the first column, and the second column, language functions and exponents, structures or content, and activities are given here. Then soft skills are given here. These are the soft skills mentioned, clearly mentioned in the lower secondary English curriculum. We can talk, but the soft skills in lower secondary level are is implied group, okay, a kind of suggested type, hidden type, like soft skills here mentioned problem solving, active listening, teamwork, communication, chapter 1 and these soft skills focused. Then communication, teamwork, collaboration, active learning, taking care of oneself, self-awareness. These are soft skills, So from here also we can take support. And my daily life, time management, managing daily life, self-discipline, self-management, teamwork, communication, self-awareness, taking care of oneself, communication, teamwork, active learning. These are given here. So soft skills in basic level, grade 1 to 3 curriculum, soft skills are clearly presented, highlighted, and these are the soft skills we can talk. But in the case of lower secondary level, how we can say is soft skills are focused area and focused area. Yes, even in secondary level, grade 9 and 10, 11 and 12, the soft skills are focused. So again, I want to show you. This is now. Just you understand about what is soft skill first. Okay, we understand it. Soft skill is the personal attributes or qualities of the learners. Soft skill is life skill, basic life skill to be effective and successful, successful in real life situation, in real life situation. Okay, in real life situation, soft skill can also be known by different names, different names such as this is what life skills, even when Chinese life skills, core skills, we can say, bullet. Yes, like this. Such as core intel. For example, core intel, you might have laptop, and you might have tablet or mobile. So the internal quality of your laptop, that is what core intel. Your laptop Intel Core i5. Intel Core i4, that is what core intel, that is the internal quality, internal, strength of that, device. In the same way, soft skill in the process of teaching and learning is what? This is core intel. Core intel, okay? हामीसँग तीनटा चाहिँ कुरालाई फोकस गरे हुन्छ हामीले हैन हार्डवेयर सफ्टवेयर एन्ड कोर इन्टेल भन्छ के तीनटा कुरा हुन्छ hardware means this school buildings and then in this textbook curriculum TG these different materials will come under the hardware part हामीले यसलाई जोड दिन्छौं software part is training हुन्छ sharing collaboration negotiation education learning यस्ता कुराहरु software मा जान्छ then what core intel means what basic competencies basic skills we focus by the use of hard part and soft part three areas will be focused in teaching and learning hard part हुन्छ classroom हुनु पर्यो text benches हुनु पर्यो curriculum हुनु पर्यो textbook हुनु पर्यो TG हुनु पर्यो this and that these materials under the hard part soft part means training हुनु पर्यो sharing हुनु पर्यो collaboration हुनु पर्यो teaching हुनु पर्यो learning हुनु पर्यो these are under the soft part and core intel means objectives skills competencies the core focus areas and that we have to do core intel is what soft skill यसलाई त्यसरी बुझ्नु पर्ला हैन so hard part soft part core intel refers to soft skill this is what internal quality this is what life skills this is what personal attributes personal qualities to be effective successful in the real life situation in the community so can be known as by different names core intel or internal strength personal attributes or qualities core skills life skills 21st century skills also and आजको सिपोइनहरु soft skills are abilities related to how अझ एउटा कुरा राखिदिउँ न यहाँ तलको कुरा predicators of successful effective and successful life कसरी बुझ्ने होला effective and SUCCE successful life को लागि पनि यो indicator हो predicator हो these are the indicators and predicators of effective and successful life we can understand like this okay so soft skills are also fundamental and foundational for UND8 foundational skills fundamental and foundational skills of learning एकदमै हुनै पर्ने नभएको खण्डमा then will be what incomplete will be there this kind of foundational fundamental skills of learning is called what soft skill यो फरक नामबाट बुझौं then soft skills are to be more specific to be more specific SPCIFIC specific soft skills are abilities related to how you work and interact with other people your ability for example like leadership नबिर्सनु होला नेतृत्व गर्ने सिप leadership collaboration collaboration communication communication critical thinking problem solving and what negotiation and then what teamwork group work work and for example leadership collaboration communication critical thinking problem solving negotiation teamwork and self management time management self awareness and AWARENSS so these are not area awareness etc we can say. These are not the teaching areas or content of teaching. Content of teaching is but these abilities or these skills will be developed as byproduct when we focus or design lesson activities for teaching, listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, language functions. So these are such qualities. It's the quality develop but they themselves are not the content areas to be taught, to be planned and to be taught. But these are the areas we developed as byproduct रूपमा आउने हो हैन. So in this way we have to understand. These paragraphs these are not the content areas of teaching, planning and teaching, planning and teaching to the lower secondary level students. Rather they are what? They are the basic abilities. They are the basic abilities will be developed is byproduct. Byproduct is byproduct after planning and teaching language skills and aspects. More specific, soft skills are abilities related to how you work and interact with other people. Some of the soft examples of soft skill, soft skills incorporated in lower secondary English curriculum are given below. Leadership, collaboration. We expect student leading role. We expect collaborative learning in English classroom. We expect students are the critical thinkers, creative thinkers. Students are the problem solvers. Students are the negotiators of their learning. We expect students to work in team rather than isolation. We expect they should have the ability to self-manage. Then time manager. They are the time manager. Then they develop self-awareness. These are few soft skills that we can generate from lower secondary English curriculum. Just to mention here, these are not the content areas of planning and teaching to the lower secondary level students. Rather, they are the basic abilities will be developed as byproduct after planning and teaching of language skills and aspects. As it is asked in question 11 to describe some activities, classroom activities to develop soft skills in students are given below ones. So you understand how do we develop problem solving ability, how do we develop critical thinking skill, communication skill, collaboration, leadership, teamwork, group work, self-management. You कसरी विकास गर्न सकिन्छ यस्तो सोच्नुहोस्. Then you write here about which activity-हरुको कुरा गर्नुहोस् हैन. These activities, these activities means these are reading, these are listening, we can use. Then group work you use, group work they work in the group, then project work कुरा गर्दिनुस्. When you provide project work to the students, they work together, they visit to the target group and collect information. There will be sharing, there will be questioning and answering, there will be note making and preparing report. So when they do like this kind of flavor of teamwork, flavor of problem solving, communication, collaboration, leadership will come there. So अरु activity so हेर्दिनुस्. Communicative games भनिदिनुस्. Communicative games also. So students, they have to play together. Then they have to cooperate and collaborate each other to be the winners of the game. This kind of simply we can use these activities in the classroom. At least हाम्रो activities चाहिँ कस्तो हुनु पर्यो भने collaborative, communicative, interactive, should be such. These हुने बित्तिकै collaborative, communicative, interactive, cooperative हुने बित्तिकै के हुन्छ नि they work together, they share their ideas, they negotiate, they lead the discussion, they present their ideas. So leadership is skill, negotiation is skill, communication is skill, collaboration is skill, critical thinking, problem solving ability will be developed. So byproduct रूपमा आउने हो. Not directly we don't focus. When we focus to listening, speaking, reading and writing, when we design activities for these skills and aspects, then what happens? These soft skills will be developed. In this way, we have to prepare, right? Describing, because critically they view the picture. Then what they share their ideas, picture describing, communicative games, project work, then what problem solving activities, we can use, project based activities we can use, which activities we can use. So these are few to mention here. यसरी जाउँ अनि यसको बारेमा थोरै यसको बारेमा लेखौँ. हामी युनिटमा डिटेलमा हामीले यस कुराहरु गरिरहेछौँ हैन. So I don't repeat here now. So you try from your side. So if any confusion again problem, then we'll share. यसो गरौँ है. यसरी लेखौँ के हो यसको आन्सरलाई चाहिँ. अब तपाईले यसको चाहिँ एक्सपान्ड गर्नुभयो भने वेटेज पुग्छ 10 मार्क्स को. So just we give a short introduction about soft skill. It is personal attributes or qualities of the learners. Soft skill is basic life skill to be effective and successful in real life situation. Soft skill can also be known by different names such as core intel, personal attributes, core skills, life skills, 21st century skills, predicators of effective and successful life, fundamental and foundational skills of learning. So then some of the examples of soft skills incorporated in lower secondary English curriculum, like leadership we seek, we try to develop collaboration, communication, these things. Then how do we teach? Not as directly we don't plan to develop soft skill, but when we plan activities for listening, speaking, reading, writing, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, then these soft skills will be developed as byproduct. Will be developed as byproduct. So thank you so much. Let's conclude today. Class number for this community activity and why resources. So we discuss a lot about jigsaw activities, project work, communicative games. This picture describing unit 2. Unit 2 is about English language teaching. Unit 2 overall, what do you teach in English? I teach in English 4 skills and 4 aspects. Unit 2 so I have prepared in question answer form also. Please you contact the administration, otherwise I will send. Yeah, interview also we can use. Interview also we can use because there will be a negotiation when there is interview activity. There will be discussion, question answer, kind of negotiation can also be there. They think creatively and critically. Problem solving can be there even in interview. One asks question, another gives answer. So. Okay. Can we conclude today? You check dictionary this spelling of target. Target one just like what is the pronunciation of target? Target one just like you check Oxford Dictionary. Yes, book is available, I think, everywhere. So if you have any problem, you contact me. 98511299937. Well, yes, we will finish the course first, then we can, come back and very pachadi aula. Unit 1, 2, and 5th we finish almost. Then we start unit 3 and 4. Unit 3 and 4 long time later. ICT and professional development. We finish. Okay, you contact to administration note or previous notes. Then we discuss. Thank you. See you tomorrow.